Hello, everyone, and welcome to round number 2, back 9 of the 2020 Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, alongside Hannah McBeth. And Hannah, very different story from what we saw during the opening round out here at Fountain Hills, and there's been some struggles with our players here on this lead card.
Yeah, tervetuloa and tere tulemas to my Estonian and Finnish friends. Just ratioed you, Terry.
Pronouncing my name
hole
wrong.
10, 310 feet, 95 meters. It is, I was surprised to see so many of the women get this hole the other day. I'm excited to see Maria handle it again because we haven't seen her play yet. But yeah, slightly uphill the whole way, tucked underneath that guardian tree. She's getting some applause from the crowd, so I'm thinking she's got a putt from wherever she ended up. The backhand is really tricky because you've got to trust it. Kind of set it out and let it float back in at the perfect time. The forehand is really the play here.
But of course, if you have the 310-foot, slightly
uphill.
uphill forehand shot, which looks like Kristin Tattar does have, and Kristin's bag a little bit lighter. We talked about that during the first couple of holes. She struggled and put a few in the drink. Well, don't drink that water. That's disgusting.
No.
But
Eveliina going for the backhand as well. This is very turned over. It's not going to have time to come back. The green does play as a bowl, so it's possible that the disc can hit and sort of loop around closer to the basket. Maria, the backhand as well. Not enough height to that, but good line.
we're seeing the wind push somewhat from left to right, so that should aid any kind of turnover shot, but not quite enough for Maria here. And what that also tells me is on the next hole, we're probably going to be facing a headwind.
And here's where Jennifer Allen's drive ended up. So this is for birdie.
Solid.
Yeah, go ahead, step out. No rush. We're waiting.
Yeah, in the intro, I really wanted to say, oh, Terry, have you ever met my friend Tere Tulemast from Estonia? But I just didn't know if that would hit. I didn't know if it would land. I hesitated.
They are laughing hysterically, I'm sure, in Estonia.
Eveliina's going to get her birdie, and we'll see if Kristin Tattar can get hers. A different start to the round, or at least to this coverage, than previous. The front nine, we saw a lot of struggles, both on the green and off the tee.
Kristin had started the round at 7 under. She was tied for first with Eveliina, and you're seeing Eveliina currently 8 under overall. And so it looks like right now Jen's really in the driver's seat, making a good move. Stepping up for the par is Maria Oliva.
And Kristin's going to go in for her par as well after one of the best drives I saw in this hole. It's unfortunate that she comes up short.
We head over to hole 11.
Hole 11, 368 feet, 112 meters. You really got to miss that tree, the first one that we saw come into frame on the right. And the slope of the fairway is tricky. You can land and roll. We see it all the time. Or for most of our backhand players, they actually hit on the green and then the disc will keep moving down towards the OB and towards the water.
Come on, check up.
That's great power. I think that's going to be just fine.
Pin high for Allen. 368. I was just going to say, is this an elite level throw, especially into a headwind? You know, this isn't a hole that a lot of women are walking up to and saying, yeah, I'm going to put this one, you know, inside the bullseye.
Yeah, you've got to get a lot of power and spin behind that disc for it to fly where you want. You see Kristin going for the forehand again here. Lots of snap behind that forehand. Yeah, it has more work to do with the forehand because it's got to work its way up the hill to the basket. Obviously, we know she's a great putter. She's come up short a few times this round, but we know she's capable of making them. But still, either way you go, there's obstacles. There's never a clear, easy route to the basket.
Love the drive here by Maria. I feel like finishing on that left side gives you the most open look at the basket because of the two trees that guard it. Are you surprised to see the forehand by Kristin and thinking that the backhand just seems like a... I mean, here she is just outside the circle.
The forehand carries away from the OB the entire way, but as I said, it does have to move more on the green to get up to the basket. Putting uphill at it, you do get that nice backboard feature, so if you miss, you're not going too far away. Whereas if you're putting downhill and you miss, it's much more punishing. I think it just always surprises me with Kristin's game how far she can throw a forehand. And Jen had a great drive here on hole 11. She's got the trees to contend with. No problem.
Not at all. And there were just 3 birdies that were carded in the entire field. You just saw 2 of them, Jennifer Allen and Maria Oliva. So, of course, we've got to get a shout-out for Emily Beach, who was the other birdie. And Emily's playing on the chase card at the moment. We saw a little bit of struggle from short range for Eveliina. We'll see if she can correct things. There she is. She corrects it here as we head into the back 9.
Hole number 12, 293 feet, 89 meters. This tee shot is super fun. You just hang it out nice and wide on the right, let it crash in towards the basket. Not too much can go wrong here. Obviously, when your disc is settling, depending on what rim width you use and how slick the green is playing that day, there can be a lot more movement than you're expecting. But Jen is 2 for 2 on the back 9. She's showing a lot of control over her discs and a lot of knowledge.
Get that one to swing back. Usually the ground will pull it toward the basket as well.
Yep, if you can hit on top of that little hill, you're almost guaranteed to be parked or at least 15 feet out from the basket.
Very different approach taken here by Maria, going up the middle. Looks to be just about as effective.
Eveliina's opting for that straighter approach.
That's a mid-range, overstable mid-range that she
Yep.
throws. Knowing this is the last time that they're going to be playing this course at this tournament, do you feel like players have a mentality of, okay, I'm ready to move on to the next course, or is that solely dictated by how well they competed at the course when they were there?
The skills needed to play well at this course are the same ones needed to play well at the next. The difference is there's a lot less water on the next course at Vista, whereas this one with Kristin, if she was to make the same mistakes at Vista as she did at Fountain Hills today on hole 2, she wouldn't be losing her disc. She would just have to go grab them from OB. There's only a few holes where water comes into play. So I would say the skills needed are the same, but the punishments are different.
We have a little bit more elevation at this course. Now, granted, neither course would you consider incredibly hilly or anything of that nature, but there is a little bit more elevation at least featured at the Fountain Hills course. I mean, I guess hills is in the name, so...
And is this course, I mean, you've been here much longer than I have. Is this course known for being windier than Vista del Camino Park, or
Yeah, I feel like we certainly see higher winds out here. It comes into play more, and as you said, I think the best word for it is punishing. Even on a light winds for a day, there's a good chance you could lose your favorite driver. You could even put your putter in the drink. There's a lot of things that could happen. And Kristin,
Great birdie putt from Kristin. We'll see if this is the momentum she needs to take down the rest of the course.
those are actually our VIP ticket holders just behind the basket. I sold them that very spot where they're standing for the day. That you can stand here all day.
Is that the same thing as a elevator pass?
Yes.
No, anyone is welcome to come out and watch this tournament.
Sign me up for fun. We move over to hole 13, relatively short
Moving
uphill.
and grooving over to
Heck
hole 13.
yeah, we are.
That was a nice soundtrack.
Getting jiggy with it?
Sure.
You're too young for that.
Hole number 13, 268 feet. This is another fun one because the branch that was originally an obstacle off the tee is gone. So we're going to see Kristin Tattar go for that big hyzer around and do the same thing on the last hole. Just allow the disc to come back toward the basket. And hopefully she'll have a putt.
Oh, too wide.
That was pretty wide, but Jen is a strong thrower. It's like what she's known for. And so with that comes a lot of rotations on the disc. So I would say that kind of mistake is very forgiving.
Especially when she was hanging it out wide to the right. So therefore, if it fights back or it rolls back with the hillside, you might find her a little closer to the basket than she's expecting even. And that is short and on the left side.
This is a long look for Eveliina. Fair bid, but should be looking for a par from there.
Whether that was a misread or not, I was just thinking the mistake that we see from Jen most often when it comes to her putting is just throwing it low. And she says that, and I only say that because I think of all the times I hear her say, stay up.
Oh, great bid again from Kristin for birdie. Back-to-back birdies for Kristin.
Where's your translator now?
I knew you were going to say that. I'm all talk. I got no game. I know how to say my... Oh, Eveliina! I know how to say, like, I am Hannah. I think it's Mina Olen Hannah and Sina Olet Terry. I am Hannah and you are Terry. Comes in handy a lot, I guess. There we go. Not for the score she wanted, but still proving to herself she's capable.
See, with the big, deep sigh as she walked away from hole 13. Feel those putting struggles today. We're hoping that she can get that corrected. The first turbo we've seen by Jen for the day from short range. She'll walk away with the par.
That is interesting. She does choose the turbo from short range. I'm not mad at it. Hole number 14, 375 feet, 114 meters. Terry, what are we looking at here for hole number 14?
Well, this one's all about making the mistake to the right, because if you go anywhere left, it's likely going to pull it down the slope, and you could easily find the sidewalk that's OB and have a really errant shot. We'll skip over the sidewalk and even find the water out of bounds. So if you're going to be anywhere, right is the place to be. And I like the angle of this.
Very
No,
high.
I don't anymore. I changed my mind. That's skipping. Don't go
No.
there. I said don't go there.
I liked the angle too. I think the angle was perfect. I just think the line was off. The height was wrong. But Kristin is trying to be more aggressive, and so she's putting a lot more pressure on herself. And I think that's sort of why she ended up high. Now we see Maria take the same angle, similar driver, but she chooses a different height and she doesn't go as far or towards the basket.
She needs that to sit down. It's tracking right toward the OB.
Yeah, and that wind has definitely picked up as we can see the banners moving and some of the palms swaying. We can see the fountain in the background is on, and I'm thinking that has something to do with it. Every time that fountain is running, the wind picks up. This is a gorgeous line from Eveliina. It just needs to cut left.
Almost on
That is
command.
exactly what you want to do here on hole 14. Really well done. Perfect approach from Maria Oliva.
So Jen will be assessed a 1-stroke penalty and be putting from where she was last in bounds. So that will be a tap in for the 4. And interestingly enough, it's also worth noting, even when you're not out of bounds, if you come within 1 meter of an OB line, you can bring it out to up to 1 meter without a penalty. So sometimes you're just getting that relief even if you weren't assessed the penalty.
Yeah, and let me just make a PSA. If you're a woman or someone who has like smaller feet traditionally, or just in real life, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, if you have smaller feet, do yourself a favor and get a meter stick and then, or like measure out a meter and see how many steps it is, because I see women with like these size 6.5 feet just taking 3 steps and I'm like, that is just not it.
Girl, you got more
You
than
tripping.
that. Yeah, literally.
You get it, Terry. Seeing some cleanup work here on hole 14. Maria and Kristin in for par. Eveliina in for her par. And Jennifer for bogey. These graphics are really helpful. I guess I don't have to say that. We're getting the hang of things here.
We try. My channel's come a long way.
Moving over to hole number 15. 426 feet, 130 meters. This is the best hole if you haven't been having a great round and you just want to throw it all out there. Absolutely crush, get all of your nerves, all of your aggression out. Take it out on hole number 15 because this is just all fairway. There's really nothing wrong, and your discs are going to naturally want to finish left, and that's where the basket is.
And up until this point, we've seen 0 birdies, so we'll see if the lead card here can change that.
Kristin getting lots of distance on that drive, but just not having the height to get a full flight out of it.
Nice rip, Maria.
Good turn, nice solid shot. Asking a lot when you're talking about, 4 1/4 here.
Similar mistake to Kristin. Eveliina would have had a amazing flight on that disc had she just trusted it up in the air, but given the conditions these women have experienced, I don't blame her for being a little bit timid there.
If you look up in the corner of your screen, you can see the flag blowing at us, so a little bit of a headwind. And really that tree is the one place you don't want to be.
Correct.
Or hard left. If you go too far and left, you can actually go over the sidewalk and find yourself out of bounds. That requires quite a bit of power, though. Standstill approach.
Yep.
A little left on that one. The last thing she's looking for is a tester putt right now. With
Yeah, and it's not so much the distance on this hole, it's really just the trees, so you really got to get those placement shots dialed in.
Kristin trying to battle back to par.
Nice shot.
She started the day at 7 under, as did Eveliina. They were tied for the lead at 7.
Maria going very high on that approach. Works out just fine. Yeah, and here's Eveliina having to straddle out. Oh, great bid. Jennifer is so close to having a perfect round. She's just a little bit off on the putting green.
And I'm going to say it feels like it would be a good thing. When she releases and if she's off, she knows it immediately.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
that's a self-assessment of, oh, here's what I've done. And I recognize it just as it's coming out of my hands.
Yeah. Control.
Hand.
Frustrated but controlled is the best place to be if you're going to be making mistakes.
Good chain grab there by the Mach X. That was not a plug for DGA, but they are, of course, an incredible sponsor here at the Memorial Championship, along with Discraft, Spinners on the Green, and countless sponsors. Also, thanks to all the coverage sponsors that we have this year. Super excited to bring you more action than I've ever brought to you from any other single tournament. So thanks for joining.
Hey, what's up, Plastic Addicts? This is Johnny here. I'm the owner of Plastic Addicts Disc Golf Supplies, largest vendor in the state of Illinois, over 10,000 items in stock, available both in the store and on our website. We're offering a code for a discount for everyone watching the Memorial coverage. It's Memorial 10. Get you 10% off anything on the website, and we always offer free shipping on any orders of $70 or more. So check us out at plasticaddicts.net.
Hole 16. 3 holes to go. 327 feet, 100 meters, par 3. This is another one, Terry. There's 2 Mandos on this hole, but I really don't think they're a problem. Not for this level of competition anyway. Just a really big unleashed drive. I would say this is about championship distance.
Well, and interesting that you said it. You didn't think it would be a problem, and I don't. Assuming you're a righty backhand thrower,
correct.
This hole sets up really well. If you were, if your dominant throw was we'll say a lefty backhand, this hole is much more challenging. But as we see, all 4 of the women here very proficient in their backhand throws. Yeah, I wouldn't like this hole much if I was left-handed and
no,
couldn't throw
I
forehand.
agree.
Where's Chris Clemens when we need him?
Well, Emily Beach is lefty, and she's on the chase card.
So
we'll have to get an exclusive.
We'll put a camera on her
with
next year, just to
yeah.
make sure we know what's going on as Eveliina finds herself on the dance floor. I like the line of that.
That's perfect.
Yes. Should be an easy tap in for Allen. Here's Maria just a step inside the circle.
Oh, I loved that out of the hand. I thought it was
tracking right
perfect.
into the into the pin. I agree. Let's see if Kristin can now get to 5 under.
Wow, excellent putt from Kristin. Perfect spin.
Is there a better FPO straddle putter than Kristin Tattar?
No.
Okay, I mean, you could think about it.
That's a very easy question. No, there's not.
You put in your writer that only easy questions could be asked, so I thought I'd give you that one.
Thank you. Eveliina looking for a birdie here. Oh, it seems like, I don't know what it is. She's just not getting these birdie putts in, but when it's for par, she's nailing it every time. I don't know if she's just out of practice or if there's some nerves, some distraction. I know she's far from home. I know her winter looks much different than ours.
The fact that she is that far off her mark, there's definitely some other disconnect that I think is a little bit bigger. Let's hope she can get it figured out.
Now we're seeing Jennifer Allen opt for the straddle. Her putting was so good. Was she straddling the whole time?
No, she had that staggered stance.
Staggered stance. That's what I thought.
So just really showing off all the different methods that she's got under her belt. Yeah. Listening in, you hear Jen ask if maybe she'd have new putters out here tomorrow. Maybe that'll
Relatable.
do it.
Hole 17, 468 feet, 143 meters, par 3. Very similar to a couple of the previous shots where you have some elevation thrown in as well as some control on the green. This is a long, long shot for a par 3. I don't know if we're going to ever have an FPO birdie this hole.
Well, maybe...
Not with that attitude.
I can think of an FPO player that has gotten it, but unfortunately she's not signed up this week.
You can go ahead if you want to. Yeah, you're fine.
Second wave of VIP passes going through. He's just getting to the autograph session
boy.
early. Hole 17 is averaging more than a half stroke over par. So 3.57 and
This has all of the power to get there, but it's not the right line. And I say that, it is so hard. It is not easy what she just did.
And if you were to come out here during a typical weekday, almost any other time of the year, the course plays in a slightly different configuration, if I'm understanding it correctly. So this wouldn't necessarily be number 17 if you were out here playing casually. And the same could be said over at Vista del Camino. So that's something worth noting, as I know a lot of our players and viewers will go out and eventually stop at these courses to play when they're in the area, that it might look a little bit different.
Oh, this is looking so good.
Let's get a
Just
hook
holds
up.
that line.
And everybody's cheering for it.
Yeah, she's got a long look, but she's got a look. Great. That's it. Just great.
Great.
That's my commentary contribution.
It's great.
It's just great. Nice up for Maria. Oh, sit down. Wow,
Jen,
she got
yeah.
that so far. She's got a bid there too. That was awesome.
And Eveliina is pin high
Circle's
right on
edge.
the circle. Yes. All right, we're looking for the first birdie of the tournament on 17.
Oh, come on. She was right there. If you gave her that back, she'd get it. Uncharacteristic miss for Maria. That's twice in a row now. She's just been on that either right-hand side in the last hole and now the left-hand side. Look at that wind ripping in the background, though. Ripping the flag in the background.
And unfortunately for our FPO division, hole 17 doesn't give up any birdies in either day. But
Kristin Tattar had a really, really uncharacteristically bad front nine. Just that took a lot of extra strokes, more strokes than I thought. And now we're heading into hole 18. It's 400 feet, 122 meters. It is another long par 3. But speaking back to Kristin Tattar, she has just maintained pace. And the other women have made the mistakes. And so it's brought the scoring closer together now going into hole 18. And it's so interesting. And it just goes to show that if you're a competitor and you're watching this and trying to learn something, just chill out, because you never know what's ahead of you. You never know how everyone is going to stack up at the end of the day. If Kristin had started to count herself out after hole 2, she'd never be in this position.
yeah, now you look at her, just how competitive she is with our leader in Eveliina and Jen. So she's very much right here in it. She goes with the forehand off the tee, and now we're seeing Jen rely on her power to go at the backhand.
It's going to make its way into the safe fairway, no problem.
And hole 18, another one that hasn't given up any birdies up until this point. It needs to sit down a little bit. Does it check up? And it just slides. She might be close enough that she'll have a look to save the par, though, with the penalty.
Maria with a much safer play here on 18. Really well done. I did not know that Maria could throw so far.
I have. I remember meeting her about 4 or 5 years ago, and I immediately knew she would be an up-and-coming star, and she's been that ever since. So it's great to see her on the road playing week in and week out.
A lot of nerves come into play on this hole. You basically have a little built-in gallery with people coming off of the course, watching you finish. People showing up for their rounds. Maybe grabbing lunch.
I know a place.
Yeah.
I still
But it
haven't
is so
sponsored me.
nerve-wracking. I don't know what it is about these hole 18s on the circuit this year, but they're just nerve-wracking.
And we're going to watch our group start to tap out. Of course, this
Maria,
is
that was well played.
is the halfway point for our tournament. I'm excited to see our lead card that's going to be coming in for Saturday's round. As we said, Vista del Camino, the next 2 rounds.
And Kristin will tap in. She'll come down to 5 under for the round. And no way.
No. Oh, and that's even... wow.
It is awful. Yeah, it's not OB, but it's not good footing. This is going to be a high number for Eveliina.
Oh, no. What a heartbreaking finish for her. Jen will tap in, and we're going to tap out. We're, again, halfway through. Hannah, thanks for joining us. That's the triple for Eveliina. We'll see how that shakes out. I think she's going to remain on the lead card as we head over to Vista, but a rough finish.
What an insane I mean, that was totally unexpected for me. I thought that we would see more scoring separation the second day, and they all competed so well here yesterday, but you throw in some wind and some nerves beginning of the season. It was the perfect storm, and unfortunately, Eveliina really came out at the bottom.
Yeah, all you can do is like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.